What's your name and what's your game?
My name is Brendon Chung, and the last game I released was a game called Quadrilateral Cowboy.
And you mostly make games by yourself, correct?
Yeah, by myself and with collaborators doing like music and level design every now and then. Yeah,
But a lot of the, like, a lot of it's you.
Yeah.
How do you budget for that? After the first game, because I assume the first game, from what I understand, you lost your job and was like,
Yeah.
fuck it, let's make a game. And but after that one, how do you budget?
I budget by living as one person really cheaply and looking at my bank account every month and thinking, oh, it's not red. I gotta continue making more games now.
Yeah. So when I decided I wanted to go indie, I was like, I want to do it at 25, and I want to have 2 years worth of money in the bank and spend a year making a game, and that way I can make another one if the first one didn't work out. Luckily, when I went indie, I worked on Darkest Dungeon, so it worked out, and I didn't have to go a year without money. But how do you look at that stuff?
I think you're a lot more disciplined than I am then, because
I was too disciplined. So like we have they probably have in America, we had like guaranteed investment things called GICs. And I went and made $500 per week. I drove the bank crazy because I budgeted it out to try and maximize the amount of guaranteed interest at $500 increments every week, and they were maturing every week, and they would call, like, it was just every time I go to the bank, they were very annoyed.
That's smart.
That it wasn't in like a mutual fund or in something that they'd make more money on.
Sure.
Right. So you just always are frugal.
Yeah. I just live cheaply. Don't spend a lot of money on things, and just like the cost of making games is just. Like, whenever my accountants look at my stuff, it's like, oh, video games must be, like, not a hugely expensive thing, because, like, you have your tech that you can get for, like, lower, cheap prices.
I mean, you're probably, even if you're buying a computer a year,
yeah.
It's not that much compared to, like, a restaurant owner.
Totally. Like, there's no, like, licenses or whatever it is. So, yeah, it's a cheap lifestyle. It's a cheap job to have for the most part.
What are some frugal things you do?
Make my own food.
Okay.
You learn to just save a lot of money by going to the market and just getting a bunch of stuff and making stuff that keeps you alive.
So are you doing I do a lot of cooking myself.
Cool.
And I don't really like eating the same thing 2 meals in a row. So I try and like alternate it or have stuff coming in. Are you like a big batch meal prep kind of person, or more of a day-to-day?
I am a big batch person. I just make a bunch of stuff on the weekend, and then over the week it just sustains me.
Do you have a vacuum sealer?
I don't. I should.
It's only worth it if you find yourself buying meat or something expensive.
Okay.
Because the thing is the vacuum seal bags are going to cost you money.
Oh, right.
So every time I vacuum seal something, I'm spending roughly 50 cents to $1 to freeze this well.
Yeah.
So it might not be worth it.
Yeah. You just see like dollar signs coming out of them.
Yeah. So I only do it when it's like, if I come across a fire sale on meat.
Yeah.
Or I've cooked like a big batch of something, but I don't use it all the time.
Yeah. I do a lot of slow cooker. I do a lot of like roasted stuff.
Do you got an Instapot yet?
I don't. I am behind.
That's a Vancouver special too. I believe that's like designed to Vancouver.
Cool. It's everywhere now.
That thing is so awesome. If they wanted to sponsor the podcast, I would be very much pro Instapot. That thing is like less, like $100 and something, and probably if you said microwave or I'd choose it. Because I'm making more rice than I am using a microwave at this point in my life.
So good.
So what do you do clothes-wise? Are you a big like?
Clothes-wise.
Are you like a thrift? Are you in the thrift stores or?
I have found my clothes place, and I have stuck with it.
Is it?
It is
Uniqlo?
It is. Yes, it is. How did you guess?
Uniqlo is a good. I don't have any of their clothes yet, but it seems like they've filled the void of American Apparel.
Yeah.
As far as kind of basic stuff, and the orange jacket, like you're wearing an orange jacket that's, that can't be that old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just looking at the color of the orange, it seems like a current orange jacket.
It is. They just have clothes that I like that are super basic, not expensive.
It's also good. If you're traveling to game cons, you need more clothes.
Totally, yeah.
You ever lose your luggage?
Not yet. I've been very lucky.
Neither have I. I prefer to carry on.
Yeah, me too. I've mastered the art of slamming everything into one big duffel bag. Done.
So do you budget time at all in your games?
I probably should, but I kind of let the project go wherever it needs to go for the most part. And for the most part, for the earlier projects, they took about 6 months or so to finish. It wasn't until Quadrilla Cowboy where it kind of got out of control and took like 4 years, something like that. So just a little hiccup.
And I assume you're trying to go back to the 6 month.
That's the idea.
When you look at the games that you've made, do you set specific goals for them as far as your career, or are you making stuff that you feel is appealing to different markets? So
every project I do, I try to do kind of two things. One is I try to set certain limitations for it, like I'm going to do this project and it's going to have no health meter, and it'll just be like a fun thing to design around to try to make things work. And the other thing is for the most part, I try to not repeat the genre of game that I do. So like if I do a strategy game, then I'll try to not do a strategy game again next time. I'll try something else and see what I can do. And like I think it's just fun to see people who don't specialize in a thing try that thing and just see what happens.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel the same way, and I'm usually inspired by those kind of things, like those kind of divergent games where it's not like their bread and butter, but their take on it. Yeah, it can be a very inspiring thing for me.
Totally.
Do you know the games you want to make?
Yes, I have a Google Doc that is 1 billion pages long.
But like, do you? So then every time you finish the game, you go to the Google Doc and see what makes sense.
Yes. Yep, that's the system. There's just 1 billion things I want to do and not enough hours, so there's always something on the burner somewhere.
Yeah. And do you think about like how many games you want to make in your lifetime?
I would like to continue doing this as long as I can. I just love it so much.
Do you think about retirement at all?
I do. I've been preparing for it. I've been squirreling away money every year to try to make sure that it all works out.
But is that retirement like you just make weird, not commercial games?
That's the idea.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know where Brendon will be in 50 years from now, but sure. I'd be up for that.
Yeah,
that sounds great.
Yeah, I have plans of having games come out after I die. That's kind of my current. My will is going to be like an Amazing Race.
I love this. This is great.
I think that's what at the end, but I got to figure out like when I'm going to die.
This is good. You're like a legacy. You're like a legacy board game where like 1 year after I die, open this envelope.
Yeah,
and you will find.
Yeah. I'll put USB keys on the 7 summits of the world. And do you? I noticed you shout out a lot of games on your Twitter.
I do.
That's something I feel.
Yeah.
When I think about you, I think about that.
I love it.
Do you just shout out stuff you think is cool?
Yeah. If a game, like I think if a game makes me laugh, it has won my heart forever. And so like when I played Homefront: The Revolution,
That was the one where he's throwing the grenade, right, with the bandana.
Yes.
Talk about box art.
Like
yes, that. Yes. Not that we live it. We don't. Yeah, being Steam and digital developers, box art's not really a thing.
Yeah. It was the sequel to Homefront. Wait. You know what? I got the names all mixed up. Anyways, it was the Homefront Revolution game. And there's just so much little like loving details in that game. Like it felt very inspired by like the Half-Life 2 world and kind of letting you go around, letting you do like fun open world activities. But like they let you search every drawer of this giant cabinet, which feels way too much. Like you should not do this in your game. And the fact that they did it just makes it so special. Just like, why did you let me do this?
Do you ever think of like why that happened?
I mean, if I was to guess, it would be the game. It was just part of some prototype or some like early part development, and they couldn't make it work for some other reason. But like the tech was still there. Yeah. I don't know.
I think it could be just somebody's filling their time. Like some like
Sure.
just like game's done. I'm the guy who made the cabinets. I'm just gonna make sure all these drawers come in and out because I'm a big Gone Home fan, and I want to make that game. So I'm gonna get these drawers right.
They're winning my heart. That is the way to do it, I think.
Do you get people asking you for shoutouts?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, I think that would be kind of weird.
Oh yeah, no, it's really weird.
So, yeah.
It's really weird. It's almost weirder when you don't when you already were gonna shut them out and they ask.
Right. Yeah.
That's
awkward.
Oh yeah, it's awkward. But I mean, like, I would assume most anonymous direct messages or weird networking follow-up emails are awkward.
Yeah, I mean, I do get people who like ask me to like play test their thing, and I'm usually happy to do that if I have some time on my hands. I don't know, it's fun.
How early do you get people play testing your game?
Once I feel that there's enough stuff in there where I cannot be in the room and they can play it. So basically, like, once like enough UI and visual cues are in, then sure, go for it. Anytime like I have to like tell the person how to play, this gets kind of weird.
Yeah, we definitely had to expo earlier than our tutorial was done.
Oh yeah,
and it was just like we had to be there to just get people through it, but it was kind of and it worked out for us. Like we always were able to show.
Cool.
But how do you decide what shows to show at?
I kind of just go to like whatever one feels like it's going to have a lot of people in it, and if I can get a spot there. I haven't shown in a while, but probably for my next thing. I think just certain games are more showable than others.
Yeah.
Like I just did a VR game, which is kind of hard to show on a show floor.
Yeah. Dangerous, arguably.
Yeah, physically, logistically, very challenging.
And you also get the weird, not that they're weird, the people that have not tried VR for whatever reason, and they're like, oh, a VR game, I'm going to line up for that.
Yeah.
And they don't really care too much about what it is. They're just like...
I showed the VR game, the game VR games with Flotilla 2, and I showed it at some venues, and yeah, you're right. It was a lot of people that are just like, I don't know what this is, but I want to learn about VR, and they do it, and it's, I'm glad to show them VR stuff.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It's an experience.
Why'd you make a VR game?
I made a VR game because I had a Vive dev kit. And I had made a game called Flotilla that I felt was like a really good fit for the VR interface. And I was kind of looking at the VR marketplace to see like, this feels like a game that should exist. I'd be happy to just play someone else's version of it, but like no one had done it.
Oh yeah.
So that I'm just gonna make this, and I hope people start making things similar to this.
Do you think you would have made it if you didn't have a game already released and proven that
Yeah, I don't
that already had a VR that you already had done? That you can look at and go like, oh man, it'd be.
Yeah, I don't know because probably maybe not because like I made Flotilla and I liked it a lot, but like the one thing that I personally just never really got over was the controls were kind of a little bit more complex than I felt they should be, and just because of the nature of the game, you're controlling you're positioning 3D ships, you're positioning ships in a 3D space, but using a inherently 2D interface of the mouse and the monitor. And so trying to make things move in 3 axes was very challenging. And so VR just deleted all those problems. And so I felt I gotta make this because it just feels right.
Do you think doing a VR game or like a VR version of? I mean, it's a sequel, but. Like, do you think that put a lot of excitement and energy into the development? Just like it being a whole new thing rather than just making a direct sequel?
Yeah. I think in hindsight, if I were to get in a time machine and do this again, I probably would have renamed the game to be Flotilla VR Edition or something like that. I think adding a number 2 at the end gives people certain expectations, and it makes people kind of think the game's going to be one certain thing, when in fact this was just a completely different. It was meant to be more of just like this whole alternate universe VR Flotilla game where VR is just the main interface, as opposed to being a sequel to Flotilla 1. I don't know. It's a mess.
When do the names come in your games?
Oh, pretty early. I think names are important.
Yeah.
And I think that like the name kind of ends up affecting a lot of the game in a way.
Yeah, because it affects the pitch. It affects what people say about your game, how people talk about it.
Totally. And so like the idea of making a game and then choosing a name for it kind of feels very daunting to me. I'd rather choose a name early on and then kind of make the game kind of fit that name somehow.
Do you have any predictive ability when you make a game in as far as awards and sales and
no, I would not say so. My game Atom Zombie Smasher ended up doing pretty well, and I would have never imagined that.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, it's a cute like strategy game. I'm sure some people like it, but like way more people than I expected enjoyed it, and still come and talk to me at expos about it. And it's like, it wasn't cool. I'm glad you loved it.
I really liked it too.
Yeah, cool.
I played it so much, and even to the point where I was blue screening my computer, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
And had to leave it.
That sounds right.
But I'd keep going back like it was yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to predict like what. I don't know. I think like one thing that I kind of am trying to figure out for myself and trying to grasp right now is the idea is trying to figure out what is the right ratio of quantity versus the quality of the thing that you make. Like, you can spend all these years making something that's going to be from 80% better to 90% better. Or you could just release it, and you can make more stuff in your lifetime. And I think that's something that is kind of hard to figure out until you just do it. Until you just like put the time in and do this project and see how you feel afterwards. I think the idea of like making more games and like I think there's something valuable about that, about having like a lot of things out there. Like being prolific, there's something valuable about that.
Yeah. Do you find that your games sell like the long tail of your games better as you release more games? Like, do you feel like your fans are checking out the rest of your games?
Yeah, I do think so. So when I think about like 10 years from now, do I want to have done like one game, or maybe I can do like 4 or 5 during that time. But yeah, it's a tough call. I think everyone has like a different answer to it.
Do you do any dual development on games? Even during marketing?
Right.
Like, how do you kind of, like, what's the normal timeline for your games as far as, like do you finish it and start marketing and then work on the promo material?
So generally I am a one project at a time person. And I think the reason for that is just my brain is just wired to focus on one thing and do a really good job at it. Right now I am prototyping my next project, but I'm also helping out Alex Austin on his game called Sub Rosa, which is like a multiplayer first-person shooter business simulator game. And that's been really fun. It's been fun because I've never worked as an artist before. Like an
artist.
Yeah, I do the art for all my projects, but I've never had just this one role on this project, or just doing like one thing on this independent thing. And it's been fun to just not have to carry the big picture in your head and having to worry about how everything fits together. I just make beautiful buildings.
Do you think that will make it more likely you'd work on a game like that in the future, or less? Like, are you like feeling like you're getting, even though you're just doing the art, you're like getting the fulfillment of the multiplayer shooter out of you?
Yeah, that's great.
Without the risk and the network code and everything, like just kind of
like it's fun to do my thing that I really love and I'm good at, and just be okay with that. Just like, and I think there's something fun about that, and I wish I'd done it sooner.
How'd that come together?
Alex and I have been friends for a while, and I've been following development of Sub Rosa for a long time, and I knew that he had placeholder art in it for a really long time, so I kind of pitched the idea of like, I would love to help out. I'd love to just, make a cool city for you and do some level design for the city. And so after some years, the timing just finally worked out.
Nice. Is collaborating something you want to move towards in the future? Or is kind of the solo with limited contractors kind of dev life the thing you...
I think right now, I think my viewpoint kind of changes over the years, wherever I am. But I think for right now, the idea of doing like temporary collaborations is really appealing. I kind of admire how in the music field, people just kind of like pop in and do like a track with this other cool person. Yeah. And then they could just like go off and do their own thing again, and it's not a big deal. Yeah. And I'd love to see more of that kind of energy in the games field. I mean, the mechanics of it, the logistics of it are kind of definitely not the same. Like,
it's yeah.
Like, if you're learning someone's tool set and pipeline and all that, of course it's...
And also, how do you do it if it's not like the way because I've thought about the same thing.
Okay.
I've thought of like, how do I get that thing in a game I'm working on? But I always think of it as more of like a level or a quest or or something like that, or something where I'm like, I want you to write the narrative for this bit.
Yeah. From
your view, rather than... I feel like when you lump them in together for the whole game, then it's kind of like, okay, well, now we're doing a 2-year thing, and it's hard to kind of have that drop in, drop out.
No, but you're right. Like, if someone, you had a guest level designer come in and make a level for Half-Life 3, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
I want to play that one level. I want to see what they did.
Yeah, especially if, like, down the line, like, because I do feel like there's a bit lost in video games of, like, not in your case, because you're mostly making games by yourself, but, like, kind of the personal impact on certain games, and it's like, you hear about it after the fact, and it's not, like... It would be really cool to kind of have a good idea of what they did before they did the thing you knew about.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. which is why I always try and put the name before the game in my podcast.
Okay.
Is because I feel like a lot of the times it's promos of companies or something like that, and it's not really the people
Totally.
behind it.
Totally. I agree.
How long are you in Vancouver for?
I am here until Wednesday.
Have you enjoyed it? Is it your first time, or?
I've been here once for a SIGGRAPH a few years ago. But yeah, it's great. It's a really
Was
cool
SIGGRAPH worth going to as a
it was
game developer? Especially one that I feel more lower quality art game developer.
Yeah, at least my experience with the SIGGRAPH was the people visiting tended to kind of were interested in like the tech and like the graphics of it. In my case, I used the Doom 3 engine, which I think is cool. I think
a lot of people think it's cool. Yeah. You really, so you just use that?
Yeah. 30 Flights of Loving used the Quake 2 engine, and Quattrolata Cowboy uses the Doom 3 engine.
Are you planning for in whatever 10 years when the Doom 4
Yeah, I mean, if they keep open sourcing stuff, I'll be happy to use them. If they release the Rage engine, then sure, I would love to check it out. That'd be awesome.
Have you met anybody from id?
I think I bumped into John Romero once at a GDC, but and he's a cool dude.
And do they have like any idea?
No, I don't think so.
Like you just sound like some, not that people who mod games, but it's just like I bet people all the time are like, hey man, I modded that engine.
That'd be awesome. I would love that. No, I mean I genuinely love these engines. I think they're great. There was one Indiecade where there was Unreal rep there, and I thought it would be really cool to get the Unreal 1 engine and like use that, or Unreal 2 engine, whatever, and like make a cool game out of that. And I think he thought I was trolling him, and I felt really bad because I was not trolling him.
Because he was going there to get his cut.
Yeah,
right? Like,
I guess
go to license that engine, get their cut, and you're like, hey, could I have like just a random Unreal engine?
Yeah, like for reals, I would love that. That would be so cool. Because Unreal 1, those are great. They still look cool, I think.
Yeah.
There's a certain look to that they have.
And there's also something like, there's a bit of a security of like, it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it works, and the limitations are probably fun.
It's a workhorse. It's, it'll work. It'll live forever, I think.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being on the question bus.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Is there anything else you want to plug?
I'm at blendogames.com and check out my cool stuff.
No, any social media?
Oh, I'm at Blendo Games on Twitter also. Yeah.
Instagram, Snapchat?
I don't.
No.
I am lacking in those areas. Yeah.